Hey everyone, it's the Comic Estate, and I have created my own manga. So those who know of me know that I'm a huge fan of certain series, some of them being manga. I'm glad I could channel all of that into my own personal project. And it took some time, some effort. I've made some manga in the past, but I was still working out my own process. But this one I quite like, so I posted it. It's not my final form, but it's what I'm comfortable showing. So you might be wondering, what's it about? Well, the name of it is Tales from the Crystal Ball. I describe it as the X-Files mixed with Magi. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Each chapter will be like a different tale about something occult or supernatural. There isn't a main character in the series, and what we focus on will depend on what the series wants to focus on. But the world will be built throughout. As you can see, this is my art style. I would describe it as a mix of sketchy and cartoony, but with intense eyes and some shading through cross-hatching and stuff like that. So yeah, come check it out if you're curious. I've added the links to the first chapter in the description. Now I'm going to talk about my personal journey of creating a manga, because it is full of twists and turns and just things I didn't expect. A lot of things I didn't expect. And one thing I realized, at least for myself, is how individual the process is. All the advice that exists, while useful for a certain period of time, especially at the beginning, ended up being maladaptive over time. It didn't fit my needs. I couldn't use it. I couldn't have it be aligned with my own process. So I had to create my own process. I had to synthesize all my tastes that I'd cultivated through the years and get really specific on what was connecting me to those stories. And then simultaneously see that those connections were also arbitrary sometimes. Because surprises would spring forth that I just didn't expect, certain aesthetic choices where I'm wow, my body just wants to draw in this way. I have no idea why, but it just seems to want to do this, and I just have to be along for the ride. Just so many things that you just don't expect. Certain small marks that you make that you're I'm not referencing anything. I could reference it to something, but I'm not, and this just seems to be a way in which my hand wants to draw. Now, drawing itself has always been fun. I do really just enjoy putting pencil to paper and just seeing where it goes. The blank page is honestly one of the most, captivating parts of drawing, at least for myself, because it represents a kind of boundless potential of not knowing what's going to happen. Now, I've gone through a lot of trials, of not thinking my art had worth, being confused, and by just the idea of someone getting better at something over time. What is even getting skilled at something? And how much do I need to focus on that? How much do I not need to focus on that? What is my own personal journey when it comes to this project? Or these multiple projects that I've tried. And truly realizing that everyone does have their own pace. And it's funny, you say you get that, just the idea of it. It's yeah, I get it. You have to do it your own way, blah, blah. But until you, really go through it, because it's just an idea in your head at that point. It doesn't sink in until you fully see what that means to you. So, yeah, the gravity of that word of, do things your way, really, take charge of, the direction and all that stuff, and not care about certain things that might be said that you need to care about, and then simultaneously, it's funny because any bit of advice that I could possibly give, I also know deep down in my bones that it would be wrong for someone else, and that's kind of the lesson. It's just advice is not homogenous. There really isn't really anything to hold on to. You really just have to be with the process and just care about what you're making and care about what you're trying to become and what you're trying to do. So yeah, that just the ambiguity of it all has been the main point of tension, but simultaneously the thing I've actually developed a relationship with, which is what at this point I truly value, is my ability to just engage in the creation process on my own way, in my own way. So yeah, overall, it's been fruitful. It's been overall a good experience, despite the downs. And I hope anyone who checks out the story enjoys it, obviously. And even if they don't, I hope they understand through it what they shouldn't do for themselves. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a good one. Okay.